Heckman House. It is a deception to claim such an expensive inspection is comparable. A realistic estimate would be $100 per inspection. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Don't want to pause.
Bill Timmon, 230 South Main Street. On ordinance 2018-14 remains tabled. Are we going to get credit for the money we've already paid out on the open space that has not been passed?
I would defer that at this point in time to our council.
I have researched that, so
Mr. Chairman, is your question what gave you just?
I've already been charged $80 on my 2 properties.
Yeah, so that's in a trust account that's specifically allocated for open space spending. We just haven't created the ordinance to.
So it's an illegal charge at this point.
What's that?
It's an illegal charge.
No, it's not illegal.
no, it's because the disposition of the monies that are collected is determined by what is it?
Public referendum.
So the collection of the disposition.
By the public.
Mayor.
It was a public.
I know, but it's a council meeting, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Please proceed. I apologize for the
No, I'm
interruption.
just saying, you know, if we paid it out already and it still hasn't been passed by council as an ordinance.
So the referendum that was passed by the voters, right? They, that's why you're being charged. We're just waiting for the changes made in the open space referendum resolution or ordinance that came before us. Once those changes are made, we will be happy to adopt that.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
So you're the collecting, the levying of the tax, and then you have the spending of the revenue raised by that tax. So the levying is proper. Nothing is being spent now because the council hasn't yet determined how it wants those monies to be spent. And that's the ordinance that the council president is referring to.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, Mouse. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Jeff Woods, 359 First Street. I have a couple questions. I'd like to know why at 32 Heckman Street, nothing's being done still, number one. Number two, I asked the mayor personally questions about the building, about who owns it, how to buy it, and he explained to me that he had nothing to do with it. He made me a deal back in February that he was going to fix it up, get it cleaned out, and here to find out, he's in cahoots with the guy that bought the house, Eric Einholz. But it's not funny, it's the truth. I never heard of a mayor going into a house and cleaning the house out for a person unless you're in cahoots with them, number one.
Laughing at you, though.
No, I'm talking to the mayor. He thinks it's funny.
Well, what I would do is, Mayor, what I would do...
Number two is, what mayor of a town do you know goes into a house, an abandoned house, pulls out a couch that is infested with bed bugs, pulls it out on the front porch? I witnessed it. Not somebody told me. I saw it. And also saw him in there cleaning the stove and had the town come and make 4 cleanups for this guy. But he knows nothing about it. He says.
This is for the property on the 32 Heckman.
Absolutely. And it's still, now the guy has a sign in the building that says Eric buys houses. Now, when I spoke to him before, he told me he was a scumbag and he was this and that. He told me he was never going to allow this guy to ever buy any properties in Phillipsburg. Now he's in cahoots with him. Because there ain't no way a mayor is going to go in a building and clean it out and pull out infested bed bug couches for nothing. So, I mean, you know, it's about time, seriously, that something gets done with this guy. He just full bore, out of control. Okay? I was at a meeting 6 weeks ago. I come to the meetings every week. I sat in the front row right directly in front of him. A guy come up here and talked all kind of nonsense about what a great guy he is and what he does for the town, okay? And he looks at me dead in the face and he goes, like this here to me. Almost like, you know, he's threatening me about something. He's a bully, and, you know, he's out of control with everything. It's about time somebody does something to him, or he gets what he deserves.
Mr. Lutz, did you, I would encourage you to reach out to the mayor's office between the hours of 8:30 and 4:30.
I got nothing to say to him. He used to be my best friend with my father and me. I helped get him elected. I went over his house, hung 50 signs out for him. Now he has the audacity to go around telling people that he just let me come over. He didn't want me to help him do things. I had nothing to say to him. He come to my father's funeral, never even acknowledged me or said a word to me. I got nothing to say to that guy. Don't sit there and make faces.
Mr. Thank you. Mr.
I got
Lutz.
nothing else to say.
Thank you.
That's the company name?
The gentleman who owns the property,
Invisible Infestation Trust?
he has no class, the gentleman who owns the property. Yeah. I'll comment on him in open time. Ms. Paulus, state your name and address for the record.
Liz Paulus, 26A Glen Avenue. At the last meeting, I inquired about my Oprah request of the mayor's Facebook page that I had submitted back towards the end of June. Last Wednesday, I received a response, but unfortunately, it was not for the time period that I had requested. I have since retained an attorney. I actually retained the attorney the day before I got the response, so I held off. If I do not get all of my Oprah requests by tomorrow at noon, I will institute a legal complaint. I don't know why some people think that they are not obliged to follow the laws and respond to the residents and the taxpayers of the town. But for the record, I am submitting a petition for the recall of Stephen R. Ellis from the office of mayor. I am hand delivering it to Vicki for the record. As Mr. Lewis did, it's
Kyoto, 147 Oak Street. I just have two things. The first one is a message for my husband who couldn't be here. He's not happy with the warning reporters being thrown all over town. He strongly recommends they have a box where if people want one, they can get it, because it's really just adding to what the community's been trying to clean up. And I, at one point, had 4 of them in front of my house, in my garden, on my porch. They're just laying everywhere. We take the dog for a walk, and you're seeing them all up and down the street, on the sidewalks, in the street, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Technically, to me, that's littering.
That's what they do.
Folks, if I can, Ms. Volko has the floor.
Yeah, but that's just basically it. And that's from my husband. That's just one of his pet peeves. He wanted me to pass that along to you. My other issue is I sent, I've brought this up before, I've sent a couple more Oprah requests for information about the Hayes Electric bill for Porkfest. The 11,000 plus for work done for Porkfest. I don't know about anybody else, but I would sure like to know exactly where that money went. $11,000 is a lot of money for electrical work for one day.
When did you submit the Oprah request?
Well, I just recently submitted 2. One as of today. And I think the other one was a couple days ago. But I am not, I did this months ago, actually, I started. I cannot get an itemized bill of the work that was done and how much each task cost to justify more than $11,000. Now, I know that the mayor is friends with the Case family. Why can't, I mean, even as a business, as Case Electric, if they did a business in that amount, they should have records. It doesn't seem to exist.
I agree.
itemized bill with the dollars.
We'll draft a letter to K's Electric. If we don't have that on hand, we just have it in. Okay, we'll draft a letter. If you can you? Yeah, we'll draft a letter and I'll get that itemized bill for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilman List, did you want to answer the Warren reporter?
Yes, the Warren reporter. I call every month, and I tell the people, I call them every month, and I say, why do you throw the papers? People don't want to read it, they just throw it out in the street, okay? They throw them in vacant houses, and they say, oh my God, they shouldn't be doing this, they shouldn't be doing this. But it's good for 1 week, then it goes right back. It goes right back. Yes, I believe there's something should be done about that. You're 100% right, but I don't know. It's freedom of speech. So what do you do?
No.
They go from the cars and they don't get out of the cars.
I think we can contact them and see if we can. They're gonna have to deliver like they deliver the express times. Technically, it would be littering.
Well, I tried that and they said, no, I can't do it.
Maybe if it comes from the town, what do you think?
I don't know, we can try it, but
Okay.
on Mercer Street, every Friday morning, I go and I pick up all the vacant house papers, because I know if I leave them there, they're going to be all over the road, and the rain gets to them, they blow all over. I don't want that, so I just go pick them up. I pick up 11 papers a week, 11 papers a week. Yeah?
We'll reach out to the Warren reporter as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Day.
Hi, I just wanted to, my ears perked up right away when council voted to draft that letter of support for the medical marijuana facility, treatment facility that will be coming in. As council moves forward, they're going to be getting organizations and or companies that are going to want to solicit so that dispensaries can come into the town. If there is some sort of way other than me trying to monitor planning board agendas or anything like that, if that could become a discussion with those, whether we, within the recovery field, medical field, how that will look within the town so that we just don't draft a blind ordinance that could allow marijuana dispensaries here within the town. There's either 30 or 31 towns across the state of New Jersey that have already banned any ordinances that would allow any sort of marijuana dispensaries to come into their town. I'm not saying we go there just yet, just an all-out ban, but to have that open conversation, because now my ears are perked up that you're like, yeah, we'll provide this letter of support, get it on that end, but it just opens up a different conversation of are they for-profit, not-for-profit? Could they then become a dispensary because, oh, but you supported us before, will you support us now? So just keeping that conversation open other than me having to monitor how the ordinances come into play.
I think it's not a bad idea to form some type of subcommittee if you wouldn't mind sitting on it with us.
I would be more than happy to sit on that committee. I clench my teeth, so.
I know, I understand. It's a double-edged sword. I understand it. I don't smoke, so.
No, I know, there's no inferences at all, but.
If the word recreation was in there, I would have hesitated.
Well, the difference is
being it was
dispensaries
medical
are for
only.
recreational. So the dispensaries are for the recreational use of marijuana. The treatment centers are for people who have medicinal marijuana.
Correct.
So someone who's suffering some kind of chronic pain or cancer or things like that. Dispensaries are what they're banning.
Right.
Because they don't want people, like your school bus driver at night smoking, some pot.
No, sure,
Or
absolutely.
driving your kids to school. So that's the difference between the dispensary and the treatment center.
Well, I would love if both of you then will form a subcommittee at the next council meeting, and if you would both sit on it. It's an alternative treatment center, that's all it is.
That piece would have got my ears.
But yes, you're right, we're gonna start being solicited by everyone after they find out, so.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, thank you, Mr.
Council President.
Yes, sir.
Ladies, and just for the record, the exact words were, as I have, alternative medical treatment center. So for Ms. this bridge that was, treatment center was my exact words.
State your name and address for the record.
David Morissette, 5 Fairview Heights, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. One quick comment. I actually like the Warren Reporter. I think it's a great summary of the news. Maybe their delivery process could use some work. I agree with a resident. I don't think I'm allowed to say names, but I agree with the resident that mentioned that the code office is not funded for the task that it's been tasked for. And applaud that resident for bringing that up. And I think the code officers are doing the best they can with the limited resources they have. Okay, but what I actually came up here to talk about is I hear some concerns about the debt and raising taxes. And nobody wants their taxes to go up. But there are a couple of things that have to be considered. And unfortunately for you guys, sitting up here as council members and the mayor, there are some things that have fallen on your lap that have to be addressed. One of them is the coreless relocation, and I applaud you for what you did tonight, for your approval for moving the police down to the other location. I think there's a thing with sewers, if I'm not correct. Yeah. Sewers have to be taken a look at before we redo streets. And I think there's a cost of around like $10 million for that.
For the total sewer project?
Right.
That I don't have on us, but I can tell you that it was $3 million for the fix, and we just approved $60,000 for an emergency this evening.
That's my next one, the sewer plant.
Yes, sir.
That's the sewer plant, right. That's not the sewers.
You're talking about the infrastructure.
Right.
I don't have that number on me.
Right. So about 8. Yeah. So there's another 8. Then there's something called the swimming pool. And I think Councilman DeGirolamo, I think you said maybe around $3 million?
Well, I'm a woman, but it's 3.5, yes.
3.5, okay. Now hopefully the redevelopment that will be happening in town over time will help bring in some revenue, additional revenue that we don't have. But that's not going to offset all the costs that you guys are going to have to make decisions on. And the costs hurt. And you don't want to be known as the town council that raised taxes and raised the cost of living here in Phillipsburg. But unfortunately, you're going to have to make those tough decisions. And I think you all know that, okay? And I think at the end, I'm hoping that you're going to be known as the council that took action. In spite of the difficult decisions you're going to have to make in terms of taxes. And I know you will be. But I wouldn't worry too much about the cost because those actions have to be done. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I think you made a great decision tonight, and I'm looking forward to some more great decisions down the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
No, it's easy. Wayne Philly, 37 Bow Avenue, Phillipsburg. The mayor promised we'd have a new Heckman Street by the end of July. What happened?
A new Heckman Street with regard to the police station?
Blacktop.
Oh, that was phase.
Where are we at with it?
Yeah.
I believe we had to send that back up.
Stan's correct, said it starts in the fall.
Because I was told the end of July by the mayor.
No, he said it starts in the fall. Yeah, they came in too long. Yeah.
And what about the other streets that are all tore up, like Davis Street, Irwin Street,
So the paving.
Tate Street, Minefield?
Yeah, now if I may say something?
Yeah, Councilman Lutz, absolutely.
If you listen to Stan, which I hope he did, he says that streets that they dig up, like Tate Street was just opened up. So that has to settle for a year before they can go in and repave it.
I just put steering components in my car and they're already rattling.
Am I right or am I wrong? He did say that, but I'm only telling him what he said.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carlo Bobiaggio. I own 2 homes on Front Street, 56 and 46 Front Street. I'm seeking your help. It's been many years that I'm trying to keep the street clean and overgrown of trees that are growing over my roof. And I brought one of my tenants with me that sweeps the streets and cleans the place, which I have pictures I would like to show them to you people of what it is. And I get inspection on my home and they tell me that my sidewalk is crap. I don't know if any of you people ever walk down Front Street. It's becoming a garbage disposal place.
May I see the photographs?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Photo number 1, I will show you the sidewalk that is across the street from me. And me sweeping that street twice a month.
So they're coming off the retaining wall
That is correct.
on the left side of front, so.
Correct. They right directly, retaining wall is facing my property. And I approached the person up on top on West Street, and she told me the city is responsible to take care of the trees. And also we have a street light, which is all obstructed.
I'm sorry, sir, just confirm with council real quick, I apologize. You say there's lights obstructed?
Yes, there is. There are trees and branches against a street light that hasn't been taken care of for I don't know how many years.
Yeah, and then I want to get down to council on this idea. Yes, that's 56 and 46 front. But because it's in the right of way, I believe that's us. In the right of way. Outside of the right of way would be the homeowner.
Who does that property belong to, sir? Can anybody tell me? Does it belong to the person who lives up on the top? Or does it belong to the city of Phillipsburg?
Well, I can tell you this, if I can have your email address or a phone number that I can...
Yeah, I have a phone number, yes, you can reach it.
Okay, because I'll absolutely take a look into this and try and find out for you. I'll also try and find out find a resolution to this issue, including if it means passing a resolution or politely asking the mayor's office to instruct DPW to have this trimmed, or even, I mean, this is quite the job. And if it's this,
I mean, it
you
is.
can't.
I'm doing this,
Right.
and this poor woman is doing it herself.
I know this poor woman.
And she brings the dirt, and we got a violation, I have right here, that she has to clean the rugs. And it costs her, with all the debris that she have to constantly bringing it in.
Right.
That's not fair. I mean, come on.
You were recently cited? From,
They suggested, we did.
okay.
But we always do clean the sidewalks and everything. People just goes by and they throws garbage, plus the trees above.
Right, because you can't see. It is dark in that alley.
Summer,
I
we
mean,
had to
the
clean all
street.
the gutters and stuff. Everything was plugged up.
I mean, I clean my gutters, I do it 3 times a year, I have to do it, because of all these trees are coming down.
Right.
I was hoping I want to come down and destroy the house, when we hope that she's not in, then I'll have to replace it.
Well, I don't want that to happen.
Well, I don't either.
But I would like to rectify this issue for you. So if you would just grant me the opportunity of a 2-week time frame, but you'll hear from me prior to then, but we don't have another council meeting for another 2 weeks.
Fine,
But
just...
I will call you.
I'm seeking help. I've been trying to call the municipal, everybody, and we'll have somebody out there to look at it. You know what? I got nobody to look at.
Well, you've come to the right place because we answer our phones and we act. So if you wouldn't mind, if you can give Vicky your name and phone number, and I promise you, you will hear from me within the next couple of days. How's me? Is he doing well? Good. He's not climbing them trees, right?
Not that I know of.
Okay, good. I will find out. I'll go down there myself tomorrow. I believe if you're coming down front, there's 21 front, there's... Right, so it is above. So this is still Front Street, right? So above that were the old Victorian houses. And this is, as the council just to take note, this alleyway is exactly where, it's not an alley, but it is Front Street, which leads down to the, where the arson was. So if it's dark, we wouldn't see, right? So that is a potential safety issue with regard. I do think that it's imperative we do rectify this issue. We do see this all over town. But I will have that answer for you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I got it.
Really? Pete Vasella, 212 Hudson. My comment's really just about the gentleman that just came up here. I know there's a lot of bashing on landlords and absentee landlords and bad landlords, and this seems to be a gentleman here that really cares about his tenant. So there are some good landlords in town, and I believe he said he just got a citation. There has to be a way that somebody up here can say, you know what, out of all the times you, from what the young lady told me, he lives far away, comes down here all the time, takes care of problems, pays to have his gutters cleaned, trims everything, does all this, that maybe to help take care of his issues, maybe somehow the town could say, you know what, that one citation, we're gonna eat that one for you. You know, maybe to help him out a little bit, because he seems like a good guy. A landlord who does care.
That would, Mr. Priscilla, if I may.
Don't call me Pete, Bob.
Well, I'd love to call you Pete, so we're in a professional setting. Mr. Priscilla, that is the mayor's office, and I can provide you with the hours the mayor's in his office. I can also give you his phone number and email so you can reach out to him.
Phone number will be fine.
I will get that to you.
All right. At your earliest convenience, sir.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, there being none, we will go ahead and close the public petitions and move to council open time. Councilman Hooks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Going back to the Forest Avenue building, for years, I have been saying, let's sue the mechanics. We have to get something out of that building. And, and every time we have a special meeting or whatever, and it involves this, I'm the first one to say, let's sue the mechanic. And he has a, something in this. It's his fault. He did it. He didn't turn the valve off properly, and that's the problem that we have with the mold. And I'll still say that we have to go after the mechanic. The other thing is maybe council can help us out. How can we have meetings in the Agway building when we don't own it? If we're responsible, I mean, how does that work?
Council, what kind of meeting are you talking about?
I don't know. The mayor has meetings in the Agway building. I don't know. I mean, what's our responsibility? Do we have, our insurance won't cover that, would it?
We don't own it. It's in, there's a tax lien against it. There are 2 federal tax liens against it, as well as a county lien for, this is the Purcell property we're talking about?
Yes.
So there's a lien, everything we're going to a dam that was restored as well down in that area that's attached to the property. The mayor is not subject to the Open Public Meetings Act law, so he doesn't need to notice a meeting, if that's what you're referring to, in terms of, if you want to say you have a gathering. It's just the governing body that's bound by those requirements. Whether our insurance would cover such a meeting if they were made aware of it, you would have to run that by the insurance carrier. Whether the mayor can be down there and have a meeting, and the mayor can do what he wants, and he has permission of,
Careful with that statement, council.
well, the permission of the property owner to be down there, that would be appropriate.
It's out of control. Okay, so as long as he has permission, he can meet.
Okay, that's all I wanted to find out. At this time, I'd like to talk about my father-in-law. Stan Hughes was an advocate for the children of the town of Phillipsburg, as many of you know. And something happened at the viewing that was, I told my wife he went out with a bang. There was about 30 kids from the youth center that came up to the funeral home and let go balloons for my father-in-law. At the same exact time, I don't know if you noticed it, there was a double rainbow happened. And you don't think that shook you? Anyway, my father-in-law was very advocate. Another thing he loved was the Democratic Committee. He helped Tom Corcoran win his mayoral office, and he also was a chairman of the Democratic Party, which his father was a Democratic chairman in Easton for many years, and Stan was the same way in Heber. And it's very ironic. We never got a condolence from the Democratic Committee at all on this death. That's really heartbroken. To me, that's really hard. That really hits me hard. The other thing is with the youth center. He's been down there for 20-some years. He loves kids, you can tell it. All of the kids came up, and they were afraid to go into the funeral home, but we invited them in. And they were so happy. A lot of them cried, a lot of them feel bad, but life is life.
Pick them all up.
Yeah, and I did. I picked a couple kids up because they were afraid, they were scared. And you know what? We never got a condolence from the youth center for the amount of years that he worked there too. Things have to change in the town of Phillipsburg. Seriously, it has to change. We have to move forward. We have to do something that this bickering and everything else has to stop. We're not getting anywhere. People don't want to come to